baby. Woohoo! We are live. What's
Wow.
up, Dean?
How are you, Mr. Pickles? I missed you last week because I think you were taking a challenge, as I recall, right?
Yeah, we were doing the
Were
challenge.
Mr. Pickles was writing a pickle book, an ebook on pickles?
It's a picture book. I don't have any hands. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna use my disability against me, huh? I don't have any hands. And you're just gonna rub my little pickle face in it, huh? Yeah, I can't type, Dean. That's right. I can't type. Haven't been able to type. But
You
I can.
No. This is not. You're not going to play the handicap card, Mr. Pickle.
Yes, I am.
No, you can't. You can't. Here's why. Because there are plenty of people who are hunt-peck typers with one finger, and you can do the same.
Oh,
I don't want to hear.
You want me to type like it's cardio?
I don't want to hear.
A, B, woo, C. Oh, I can make the Z key over there. Okay, here we go. Whoa, Z. Oh, crap, it's an X. Thanks a lot, Dean. I just pulled a mickle. Pulled a pickle muscle. That's a mickle.
Again, you're blaming me for things that you're not willing to take responsibility for.
Whoa. Let me tell you something, Dean.
You tell me. Tell me. I'm listening.
I love you, buddy. You're the best. You just make me feel so good about myself because I take one look at you and I feel great about myself.
I'm so glad I could help.
Dude, what are we talking? Oh, wait.
See, look, even our audience is saying Mr. Pickles is a bit aggressive today.
He can be. He can be a little aggressive. So what do you want to talk about today, Dean? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about avatars? You want to talk about fishing? Dude, I caught a huge fish off my dock at lunchtime today. This is not one of those lying fish stories either. I have two witnesses. And it got off the hook right as we were lifting it up to get it up on the dock so I could take a picture. But I had a real fish.
What was it?
It was what's called a puppy drum.
A puppy drum. What family is that? In the bass or the perch family?
It's a fish. I don't know.
Oh, puppy drum.
Puppy drum. It's called a drum.
Hold on. DRUM?
That's how most people spell drum.
I don't know. It could be puppy drum fish. I'm going to do the Googles.
You got to do the Google.
It's a redfish, a channel bass. It's in the bass family.
Okay.
Spot tail bass or simply red.
But man, and let me tell you, this is a great example of going to people who know what they're doing as opposed to people who don't. So, I've been flailing around. I'll admit, I've been watching some YouTube videos. Obviously, I'm watching people that don't know what they're doing on YouTube. So we're having work done at the beach house, and the young guy he and his dad own the company, and he's been coming down here early in the morning before they start work. Like at 5 o'clock, he's creeping in. I said, dude, be careful, might get shot. He's like, oh no, man, my truck. So he's creeping in, and then he's going out in the bay in his waders and fishing for a couple hours before work from like 5 to 7. And he's catching these big fish, right? So I'm not catching anything but a cold out there. So I asked him last week, I said, dude, can you give me some tips, please? And so he looked at my rig and he said, okay, this is messed up. You don't need that. You don't need this. All this stuff that I thought I had learned off of YouTube and everything. And he's just like, okay, this is all you need. So he gives me this thing. It's called a pop cork, but the brand on it is Cajun Thunder. Okay. And what you do is you pop this thing and it's got beads and stuff on it. There's a point to telling this story, by the way, folks. So it's got these beads and weights and stuff on it, and you pop it and it makes a noise that like a clicking noise that attracts the fish, and it causes the bait that's hooked to it to jump and then sink back down. So it keeps it at the perfect depth, and you flick it and then reel it in, then flick it, and the bait's going like this underwater. It simulates a wounded fish. So he gave me this thing, and I thought I knew what I was doing. I was doing it wrong. So he shows up today, and I'm like, dude, can you show me what to do? So he goes down on the dock, and in 1 minute shows me what to do. Within 5 minutes, I catch this big ass fish. So there's a point to this. And the point is sometimes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, sometimes you think you can learn all about it by reading about it, by watching videos, by trying it and everything. But sometimes the very best thing you can do is go to somebody that you know knows exactly what to do, have them show you personally how to do it, then do it in front of them so they can give you immediate feedback. And then your chances of getting results have absolutely skyrocketed.
This is also called a coaching program or a mentorship program.
Thank you for stealing my thunder, Dean.
Sorry.
So my point was that for those of you who show up to be a part of the Jim and Dean show, you can learn from my book, Copywriting Secrets. You can learn from the Jim and Dean show. You can learn from all this stuff. But at some point, oftentimes what will make a difference is having the access to the people who can look at what you're doing and know exactly what's right, know exactly what needs some help, and give you benefit of years and years and years of know-how in an instant. So this fall, Dean and I are going to, and fall's not that long away. This fall, Dean and I will be launching our Insiders Copywriting Circle. I don't know what the freaking name of it is, but it'll be something cool.
I like that. I like it. Yeah.
Well, we better go buy the damn domain name because I don't even know what I just said. But somebody's going to go get it and try and squat on it. But that's honest to God. That's it. It's you can talk about it. You can take years and years. You can go to somebody and he'll be like, okay, use this, do this exactly the way I'm showing you, and you're going to get results. And it was amazing too. I mean, it wasn't 5 minutes.
Results.
And I hooked this thing, and dude, the thrill. I mean, I was a big fish. It was like a big hit. I was like, oh my God, this is great. I got to get it up on here so I can take a picture. I didn't want to eat it, but I wanted to take a picture with it. Oh. So, and I found, Dean, some other metaphors to go with fishing that go with copywriting and stuff.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so one is you got different kind of bait for different kind of fish. So some people want really flashy stuff. You use the real flashy, like the silver lures, the ones that sparkle and stuff. The flashy stuff is what you use like on Facebook, where you're trying to, this fish are swimming by and you're trying to catch their attention. You're not sure where they are. You're not sure which ones are going to pay attention. So you got to use flashy stuff, the stuff that sparkles in the sun that catches their eye. And they go, ooh, that kind of thing. So that's for Facebook. Now for stuff like on your own website, on your own content marketing and things like that, that's more of a bottom fishing type thing. And I'll tell you why. Because that's like throwing the tasty bait overboard and just letting it sit there. Because eventually something's going to come by and you don't know exactly when, but it's not dependent on the tide or the weather or anything. You just know by throwing that over that you're going to hook something eventually. And Dean, I could go on, but I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to take up all the time, but I'm coming up with a whole, and talking about just casting and casting and casting. And most people give up after like 5 casts. Oh, there ain't no fish out here. No, you got to try a different lure. You got to try a different angle. You got to try over there. Then you got to come back because everything's changed and the current's there and stuff might have shown up. And so you just got to keep casting, keep casting, keep casting. And then he said something to me that when the fish got off, he said, dude, cast it right back out to the same spot because they travel in groups. I did this particular fish. There's a damn good chance that there's another one out there. So
plus what you just said, to continue with the metaphor, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt or steal your thunder again, because I already did it once. I don't want to do it again.
There was a comma. There was a period there, Dean. Go ahead.
Was there? I can never tell whether it's a colon, semicolon, period.
I don't want to hear about your colon. All right. I don't want to hear about your colon.
Healthy colon outside. You just kept saying you have to keep casting, and you have to have the right hook.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
What's the message? What's the right bait?
Right. But here's the thing, dude. You got to have the right hook. But then the way you start reeling that hook in is the story. Because this, dude, I'm not getting crazy with this. The story that you're trying to tell to the fish is that this is a tasty, wounded fish that you don't have to expend a lot of energy to get a juicy, calorie-packed meal. Literally, that's the story you're telling to the fish, because everything's about math. Everything's about, hey, if I expend these calories, am I going to get something? Is this going to hurt me? All these other things are going on in that little fishy brain. The same thing that's going on in the mind of the person that you're trying to, once you've got the hook going out there, then you're trying to tell the story that this is exactly what you're looking for and this is going to make a difference for you. Now, I'm going to change gears real quick. Thank you, Randall Hurt Sr. I thought so too. So Martina says, guys, it's only 4 people watching. Seriously, why are you doing this? Well, here's the thing, dude. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different channels right now. So there might only be 4 where you're watching, but I got a bunch of them over on my website. And then I got a bunch over here looking. So, and here's the other thing. We got this many live, but we also know that hundreds of people will watch the replay, because as popular and good looking as we are, not everybody who follows us is paying attention at this very moment, or is even capable of paying attention at this moment. So there you go.
And, you know,
plus, Dean and I just like hanging out together.
So I want to address this. There's only 4 people watching.
Okay.
This is like saying, how big is your list?
Right.
Do you have a list of 10,000 people who are just getting free? Or do you have a list of 1,000 people who are consistent buyers? Which would you rather have? That's what this audience is. This is with your audience.
Sure.
These people have bought from you. These people have been following us for, well, a year and a half now.
Yeah, we've been doing this. Plus, it's fun. We enjoy getting together. If you guys weren't here, Dean and I would still be getting together and just talking smack. So there you go. But dude, isn't that fishing? I mean, that fishing, you got to keep doing. You got to try different stuff in different weather conditions, different tides, different species of fish. You can't just throw out a single hook and then wonder, why have I not filled the fish boil bag?
The conditions will always be different.
Right. And they'll change.
And they'll change. And as an entrepreneur, if you have the entrepreneur mindset, you have to be ready and willing to go with the tide, to pivot, to try anything, to try everything.
Yep.
Because that's how you start to learn, okay, I don't have to get everybody. If you're just now, the more you do this, the more you'll learn the behavior of this puppy drum fish, right?
Exactly. The color of the water, the temperature, the tide,
the condition, the time of day.
Right.
And then once you hone that in, you'll know, hey, I can get up. I know they're going to be out there between 7 and 8:30 in the morning. I'm going out to my dock. I know where to cast the lure. I know where to cast this fun sound machine lure, where to cast it again and again, and keep pulling up fish. Just like the guy, just like the mentor you had today, just like your coach who was out there today saying, why are you wasting all this time? Here's exactly what you do. And in 1 minute,
and
you hooked it.
You know what else he told me? He said, until you get this nailed, do not switch to another type of lure. He's like, until you have this down, do not switch to anything else. And he's telling me about this one guy that works with him. His name's David, and it's super nice guy. He's from Ecuador. And he's like, it's funny, you know, how rednecks talk and stuff. He says he is ate up with the fishing. That means he's really enthusiastic about his fishing hobby. He's ate up with it. So David is out there with us too, right? And he's in his great Ecuadorian accent, he's telling Chad that this Cajun thunder thing, that's not going to work today. Oh, okay. So David's casting no bites. He fishes all the time, but no bites. And so I'm out there with this thing and I get this big bite and he's like getting ready to throw his rod into the water. And
he's
Chad,
an angry golfer too, isn't he?
Probably. But Chad's like, don't do anything else until you have mastered this. This is the catch-all. What you got to learn about now is the tide and the time and the temperature and grass parts and being able to go out and, find the drop off because there's little drop offs and you got to fish the drop off. And so I bought some waders. So I've got waders now that I can put on that I can walk out in the water and it'll protect me against jellyfish and other stuff like that. And so I'm going to now graduate up to wading out into the water, like up to my waist, which will give me a whole bunch of more area you see the analogy. I got more area to look for the same people. So I'm not just restricted to the dock. Like you're not just restricted to Facebook. So now I can walk over into the other little inlet. I can walk out over to the edge, but I'm using the same lure and the same setup thing. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a proven system and I'm not saying, oh, well, all I can ever do is fish off my dock. All I can ever do is try and get traffic from Facebook. Now I know that I can catch these puppy drum and the other fish using this thing. Now I'm going to go into different markets using the same tool and see if I can catch them, as opposed to what most people would do, which would be to, oh, well, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try a different lure. So I'm going to wade out somewhere I've never been. I'm going to try a different lure. That's stupid. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, I'm going to use totally different ads on YouTube or a niche website or other things like that. Use totally different hooks.
It's that we can draw the same analogy to, you've got a Facebook ad with one message and then they go to the landing page that it directs people to, and there's a different message on you think you got to be different, that people have to see something new. No, it's got to be consistent. Right. They want to see the same thing. That's what attracted their attention in the first place. Why do you think something different is going to attract their attention when you've already, all the work was attracting their attention? You already know what to do. Don't change it.
Right. You know what's going to make them react. You know that the people are going to react to this, and you want them to react without thinking. You want them just to keep reacting to the stuff that when you have defined your avatar. And so I know who my avatar is. I know who the fish is. I know that they respond to the little red thing with the salt and pepper back and the little squiggly green tail and the quackity quack of the Cajun thunder thing. You want to see this thing, Dean, or would you rather just imagine in your eyes?
We are food.
Okay, hang on.
Eat. All right. Fishing Joe. Here we go.
Okay. Now I'm back in my magical home office. So I better not hook myself. I'm being a little dangerous here. Okay, so this is the Cajun thunder thing, right? So here you go. Watch what it does though.
That sounds like a wounded piece of bait to me.
It does. Okay, and so then this is the thingy. That's the fish. So he swims along and the water makes this little green tail go. So this thing makes him bob up and down, and he goes forward and then he falls down. And anyway, he's just like, you master this. Don't move on to anything else. Master this. And I was thinking about Russell. I mean, and I've got so many freaking reels and lures and stuff. It's pathetic. It's pathetic how much crap I have, and I have no idea what I'm doing. But to have somebody say this one rig is all you do until you've mastered it.
Yep. Stick with one webinar for a year. Don't do anything else.
Once you know the webinar works.
Yeah.
You don't keep doing the same crappy webinar over and over. You don't take a year to know your stuff doesn't work. If it ain't working after a couple times, try something else. Once you got it working, then make it work better.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's cool, fish man. Tail. I needed a hobby besides shooting at stuff. This is a little bit less violent, unless you're the fish.
Yeah. You're a catch and release guy?
Oh yeah. Unless they look really tasty, then I will eat them because I got that air fryer, man. I'm getting really good with the air fryer. I'm hoping somebody will send me a hairnet with a unicorn on it
Yeah.
so that I can be a part of that $1 billion industry with those magical words. Would you like fries with that? Or perhaps a hot apple pie? So,
There
dude,
you have it. Yeah.
refried. I had refried chicken yesterday
In the air fryer?
in the air fryer. Taking. You know how fried chicken gets a little.
You can get
a
soggy.
little limp, little soggy in the fridge.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you take that out and put it back in the air fryer. It's as good as the day it was fried, man. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, like if we'll do French toast, and what we don't eat, we put in the fridge. The next day or a couple days later, put it in the toaster. Back to life. Back to life.
You do French toast in the air fryer or in the pan?
No, this would be in the convection oven, the toaster oven.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do that you do it in the little
No,
convection toaster oven?
my wife will make French toast in a frying pan on a skillet
Okay.
originally, but to
Okay.
bring it back to life, throw it in a toaster oven.
Okay.
In a
That was
convection oven.
that was what I didn't understand.
Got it.
I got you. Okay. Hey, we got a question from the folks. Dean, you want to answer a question? It's not about
Yeah.
fishing. Okay. Question regarding your doctor avatar. What hook do you recommend for doctors? Not GPs,
Not not general practitioners.
I
What-
don't know.
I don't know.
I think we need a little bit more information. Are you trying to hook doctors into something?
And what we would need
And-
to know what your offer is,
Yeah,
because then we could do a product specific avatar.
true.
And do you know that doctors? So we would need to know
What's their
what kind of a
specialty? What kind of doctor and what are you trying to do?
A gastroenterologist, cosmetic surgeon, a dermatologist, anesthetologist.
Proctologist? Who? I mean, I know it's important. Don't get me wrong, but who decides they want to be a proctologist?
Could be the money.
There's money in it. I'm just saying. Yes, doctor, not. I still don't understand, Katie.
Do you want to put it up? Can you?
Ophthalmologist. Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
what does
So
what does the ophthalmologist want?
that you're selling? What do you? Yeah.
What are you selling?
So we have an
So-
eye doctor,
We have an eye doctor, and what are you trying to sell the eye doctor?
pair of glasses.
Stop. I was saying, oh, you're trying to sell the doctor God? I have no idea.
Religion? Are they trying to sell?
I don't
What-
know.
Is it
I don't know.
faith-based offer?
I don't know. Need more info. Bridge to blind community. Still, I feel like I'm playing what's the thing where you try and figure out what people are doing, like Pictionary without the picture? Still, I feel like I'm playing charades without the godlike persona, offer low vision services. I still don't understand. I don't know. It might be, hey, tell you what, Katie, go give us all the information you can over in the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast, or excuse me, Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks Facebook group, and tell us about it, and we'll see about next week when we do our show. We'll hit on it. I promise we'll take a look at it. Anyway, let's see if we got any others. You filled out the pop-up on your site, but doesn't seem to work. Holy crap! Somebody tried to hire you, Dean, and your stuff doesn't work. You
I
suck.
have to
Must
say
be
it.
a scam.
It's
a
the first
scam.
time I've gotten a message like this, so I appreciate Ray bringing it to my attention, and then I'll see what's the dealio. And when you're talking about this, look, an article,
Poor Ray's over there banging on the damn keyboard trying to send
There it
you a
is.
message.
right? You're looking for the right hook. You're looking for the right bait to attract the right response. And this is what you and I, right?
Well, the purpose of the hook is not really to get a response; it's to attract attention. Let's talk about that for a second. I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I mean, where does the hook stop, and where does the story and offer kick in? I want. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the story kicks in once you get a response to the hook or the bait.
Okay.
Otherwise, if the fish isn't paying attention to what you've got, like all of this time before today, you've got all this box of lures and rebels and whatever you're using, all that
I still
crap,
do.
bad hooks, bad bait. It's just worthless, and not a fish was responding.
But
now
I didn't
today,
have it.
So
but I didn't have
a response.
But I didn't. Here's the thing.
Huh?
This is a great metaphor as well, and I'll tell you why. Because I could have the greatest hook. I could have the greatest bait in the world, but 95% of it's still in the packaging and has never been shown to a fish. That's like the people who sit around writing the perfect ads, but never bother to run an ad because they're scared. That's a whole different philosophical discussion.
Okay, so let's go one further. This is like an idea that is never executed.
There you go. Nice.
It's a dream without making it a reality.
Well, see, but it's more fun to look at these lures and envision all the fish that I could catch as opposed to going out and having to put it to the test and figure out how to make it work.
Now you're living in your own fantasy land, though.
It just happens.
And if that makes you happy, if it makes you happy looking like a unicorn, where it's always rainbows, cotton candy, and puppies and kittens, then great. That's great. But the only one who'll know about it is you.
That's right. This is pretty good stuff, actually. You could have written some kind of PhD thing on this. Or at least a senior thesis at a low-level community college.
We could be professors at a community college.
Yes, we could, especially if we did it pro bono. But, that's funny. So my thought on the hook is the whole purpose of the hook is to get that response, is to get the attention of the audience, to get the huh. And then, like I said, the story is what gets them to actually take action. So what catches the response, what hooks the fish is the sound and what they see, but then the story is what they think they're seeing with this wounded thing.
Oh, okay.
And then the call to action is bite me, sailor.
And let's go a step further with this, what you just said. So you've got everybody responds to sensory stimulation differently. Some people are auditory, some people are visual, some people are kinesthetic. It's what you just described, the same thing. You had the jingle jangle. Oh, that's the sound or the vibration, whatever the fish is picking up. And then all the movement, the fish tail, the green, that's a visual response, right? Same thing. What is a fish? We're giving them a choice. We're giving them all this stuff. What are they going to respond to? You just happen to hit on the right combination today. Whereas before, you didn't have any combo.
Or I had the wrong combo. It was moving too fast. What he told me was you're moving too fast.
Okay, so let's go there. Does it mean you're a poor fisherman? No.
It means I'm ignorant.
That's a judgment. It just means you haven't found the right bait or the hook yet. That's all. It's because we have a tendency to judge ourselves and say, oh, this offer's not working. It sucks. It stinks. And I've had it. I've already spent $2,000 on Facebook ads and nothing's working. And then you stop. No, it's no different than the phrase you're just one funnel away. It's the same thing.
Right.
Then take the next step. If that doesn't work, take the next step. Test.
Right.
Everybody who's listening to this, you're marketers, you're entrepreneurs. That is the job of an entrepreneur, is to keep testing, to keep trying, to not give up, be tenacious, be persistent, be creative, be innovative.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Even once you think you figured it out, conditions are going to change. Yeah. The temperature is going to change. The fish are going to migrate. And what's working today won't work 3 months from now because the market will have changed. We're talking about hooks and ads and stuff. Specifically, we're talking about ads. If you got an offer that really converts well, it can convert for years. I know that personally. What we're talking about really here is in the area of ads and traffic and stuff like that.
Well, hold on. I think it applies exactly to what you've been doing for the past 22 years in selling your ebook course, right?
Okay.
Right. So you're in your third iteration of this?
Yes.
Third iteration. So that means, okay, so every 6 to 7 years, you've got to see what the market wants, what's demand, how has it changed, and you have to adapt accordingly because all offers will fatigue, all of them.
Yeah.
So you have to look at this culturally. You have to look at why, okay, there may be a different reason people want to do ebooks because now from compared to 6, 7 years ago, the ubiquitousness of distribution and the channels to get that ebook out there are way more. You have way more choices.
Yeah.
However, that poses and opens up another set of problems, even though it makes things easier in a certain way. So you adapt if this thing wasn't working for you, you would have abandoned it because you get tired of stuff, right? Stuff you're going, I've had it with this. I'm Jim Edwards. There's no reason for me to stick with this, but you have because it's working for you. It's been working for you because your audience changes. Their needs, wants, desires, and change. It doesn't mean what you've been doing is gone for good because we notice that there are cycles in this because what may have worked doesn't work now, 20 years
Everything
ago.
goes in cycles.
Right. And so you might find, what worked for me 20 years ago didn't work for the past 19 years, but I see it's coming back.
Right. Well, and for example, for a long time, everybody's like, oh, ebooks are dead. They never were. But now it's like, oh, everybody who wanted to do a free plus shipping funnel figured out what a pain in the pertuckus that can be as far as putting stuff together and the logistics and fulfillment. And hey, if you want to test different offers, I mean, it's one thing to test a different ebook, test a different cover, all these other things. Ebook you can test a lot faster, and people's tastes go in cycles as well.
Yeah,
people are like, hey, I want a real book, and then they get a stack of real books, and they're like, hey, I want an ebook for a while. So you got to be able to adapt and do exactly what you said. But the core offer never really changes. The core offer is, hey, fishy, fishy, fishy. Here's something tasty. You might want it, and then you're trying to figure out what.
Right. For 4,000 years, as long as the past, who knows, 10,000 years, 50,000 years that men on this and women on this planet have been fishing, they know if they have the right bait, the right worm, the right lure, they're going to catch food. They're going to catch food from the water. And that has not changed over the years. That has not changed.
Right. 40,000 years, according to the Google.
40,
fishing is a prehistoric practice dating back at least 40,000 years.
To Neanderthal?
I don't know.
Australopithecus?
Why would I dive any deeper? I'm smart enough for this cocktail party. The Copper Age.
Of copper? When? What era? What epoch?
I don't know.
Well, you got the Google in front of you.
I got Wikipedia. I don't want to go digging too deep in Wikipedia because then I'll look at all kinds of stuff.
So you're just not curious.
I am curious. I'm trying to be a superficial expert, Dean.
There you go.
You've
succeeded. You've succeeded. I succeeded at the top by what is a puppy drum. We found out. You found out that men have been fishing for 40,000 years.
There you go.
Keep it at that. We're going to keep it at surface level.
One last thing, though, that's interesting. Since the 16th century, fishing vessels have been able to cross oceans in pursuit of fish. And since the 19th century, it's been possible to use larger vessels and in some cases process the fish on board.
Leave it to the whalers.
I'm not a big fan.
Nope. Oh, either am I. But when you're catching all this fish, those fishermen found out by the time they went way out to sea, and it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, all that fish was rotted. They go, what a waste. We got to find a way to preserve this on board. Okay. Ice hadn't been invented yet. What do? They got to cure it with salt or something.
That's true.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten salted fish?
Yeah, it's salty.
Yeah, it's not that good. Then I found out you have to
It's like-
soak it.
It's like fish jerky.
Yeah. It's like salted country ham. It's like people actually like this because I don't.
But then again, that goes back to testing. Why do we have rotted fish? Why? We got to fix that.
What can we? So what you all have learned is how the entire fishing industry exists to sabotage our advertising efforts, and how you, as a simple, humble fisherman, much like Jesus, can be an amazing marketer if you only understand all the metaphors that we talked about that we don't even understand because we got so deep.
No, so and here's the thing too. What you've noticed, if you're marketing and especially writing copy, we took something that is, how do you relate this to this? And that's
Right.
storytelling. That's what sells. That's what keeps people's attention, is learning how to, when people say, I don't know what to write about, you can think about anything. Think about the connection to something that you want to say. Sit with it, think about it, get a little creative, and now you've got yourself a little story.
So let me ask you a question. Is what we did with the fishing, was that a simile, a metaphor, or an analogy? Which of that was it? I don't think it was a simile.
No, it's not a simile.
Simile is saying something is like something else. Metaphor is often poetically saying something is something else. And an analogy is saying something is like something else to make some sort of an explanatory point. I think it was an analogy. What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both, because we talked about a lot of things. I think there was metaphor and analogy.
Dude,
And if we went a little further, if we went a little, we could have had the word just slipped my head.
An orgy of acronyms?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that though. That's very good. An allegory.
Allegory. Okay. So this also says you can use metaphors and similes when creating an analogy. I think that's kind of what we were doing.
Yeah. It's kind of like, Russell does this all the time.
Yeah.
A simile is like an analogy. You use similes. It's kind of like what is ketosis? It's kind of like tiny little Pac-Mans in your body eating up all the different things that don't belong there. That's what ketosis is.
Oh,
that's a simile and an analogy at the combined, because you're saying it's kind of like.
Simile is kind of like is a simile. Yeah.
But we have an analogy too.
Okay.
Simile, because an analogy is you're taking one thing and comparing it to something else, which is what I just said.
Analogous. It's analogous.
Analogous.
Here's an allegory. An allegory is a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one.
Like Dr. Strangelove, that Kubrick movie, that's an allegory.
Okay. What about Dr. Seuss? Is that an allegory, or does it depend on where you are on the political spectrum?
A lot. I mean, a lot of allegory with Dr. Seuss. A lot of racist allegory now.
I think you can interpret it anyway. I think that's the problem, is that you could also interpret it in an uplift. I mean, you can interpret anything, and so
I can. Culture wars. It's just goofy.
And it's
culture stuff is
exactly. You and I would fix the world, Dean. You and I, the world would be an amazing, comical,
I
happy.
think we already have the best way we can.
Which is what?
I don't. Spreading the word.
Okay.
Spreading the word of copy.
I don't know what else to talk about.
I have an idea.
Okay.
If you want it. What you and I did yesterday for over an hour was looking for better hooks in the way we ask better questions in improving the web and the avatar profile.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. Which will soon be translated to the web and avatar profile and the Jim Edwards method one. Yeah.
We those questions are, we think right now, we won't know, but it's better bait tastier bait to get better responses. Better
Well,
fish.
let's take it even further, because I showed the changes on the training I did for Funnel Scripts today, and people thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
But I want to show you something, and again, you guys might say to yourself, you know, you guys are over analyzing stuff, but are we really? Because sometimes when you really sit down and contemplate your navel, you can notice some really cool stuff. Most people never sit and really think about stuff. I want you to think about something, Dean. Okay, what we've done here. I'm going to pull up the avatar, and so I'll show. So this is the avatar profile inside of Funnel Scripts. This is a full avatar profile. So here's the thing. If you wanted to think about this like hook and story. What we're trying to do is get the user of this script to tell us little pieces of a story about their avatar. And all those little pieces of the story can be mixed and matched and sliced and diced into whatever we want inside of Funnel Scripts. But think about this. The hook. Let's do this one. The hook is what's an immediate result your avatar wants right now. And then we help them to tell the story by giving them a prompt. Right now, my ideal customer really wants to blank. You think about that? I mean, that's a little yin yang. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's like,
No.
Here's the hook, and then here's how to tell the story. Like this one, we totally renamed this Avatar's ultimate long-term desired outcomes. The enemy, everybody, when I explained this today on Funnel Scripts, everybody's like, oh my God, that really helps me. This was where I was getting hung up. And I think it was just that one little word where it said person. But when I explained, It could be one of three things. It could be a role, like a hat, could also be a person with an idea, or it could be an entity. It could be, like big pharma or, traditional publishers or something like that, an entity or an organization. But like this, urgent problems they need to solve. It's not just problems. What kind of problems, Dean?
Urgent.
What's a huge problem your avatar needs to solve right now? My ideal customer really needs to figure out how to. So it's hook and story. It's hook and story all through. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So a question is a great hook because it begs you to lean in. The mind doesn't like open loops. The mind it's captivated by questions, but you just can't leave it there.
Yep.
So it's going, what's the answer to that? It's got to find a solution. That's survivalist instinct. What's that noise? What was that sound? Who's out there? What is that?
Questions are so powerful that Facebook actually cracks down on them because by answering the question or by responding to the question, it reveals so much about the person. Like if you're asking, are you a divorced mother of two? I mean, if they'll answer yes to that, or they'll respond to that, or click here for that, it's like, so much about that person. It gives you an unfair advantage. And Susan said she just got insidercopywritingcircle.com. She just grabbed that for us. So that's cool. But so you're right, because questions are super, super, they're so good that Facebook wants to, the little red-headed monkey over there at Facebook doesn't want you using them because he thinks it's unfair. I got to tell you something, man. I saw a picture of him he was throwing a spear against a board that was like 10 feet away from him, and then he was acting like he was all that in a bag of chips. I just thought it was odd.
Oh, man.
It's random. Sorry.
That's okay. Zucker spear.
Zucker spear. I love it. What else? I'm not seeing anything else. I guess this was fun. I've been thinking stuff.
You've been fishing.
Should you Carlin says, should you tie the Funnel Scripts avatar or reference Russell's principle that he teaches? I don't think those two are mutually exclusive. Russell talks in Traffic Secrets all about the first chapter in Traffic Secrets is all about knowing your ideal customer. In fact, that was what gave me the idea. We'd had the avatar, but that was what gave me the idea to, when I created Traffic Secrets scripts, to make it so that every single one of those scripts was tied to the avatar. That was the first time I'd ever done that with a collection of scripts. So I don't, unless I'm misunderstanding the question, what the Funnel Scripts avatar does and Russell's principles that he teaches are in full alignment. In fact, Russell is going nuts right now over the avatar and wanting me to do more and more and more and more to have the avatar spit out cool stuff. So I can tell you that Russell loves the avatar inside of Funnel Scripts. I know this firsthand from actual conversations with the man himself.
And I can talk about firsthand with my conversations with Russell and what he has me doing based on the avatar.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope that answers your question, Carlin. I didn't really understand. Oh, or put page references by the questions in the script. So, yeah, that's for this particular thing. There's not really page references for what he does versus the avatar and stuff like that. Like he used to like we used to do for Expert Secrets, and then he rewrote the book, which kind of messed up all the work I did with putting page numbers. So I kind of shy away from putting page numbers on anything anymore inside the scripts. But a lot of times with the books and the scripts and other things, I have to make inferences from like the intention that Russell has, because they don't necessarily, the way I have to work around them to get the stuff out of people's heads or get it into a form that it can be turned into a script. But they're all Russell approved. It's not like I'm doing something in contravention to what he's doing or teaching. Or if I am, he hadn't caught me, so we're good. But I would never do it on purpose. I'm always trying to make sure everything is copacetic. All right, man. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
We're good.
We're good. Okay. Well, that was fun.
Fishtail.
Did you remember the movie Fishtail? Or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one, but there's a guy, he's talking to the little fish. It's like the shark's talking to me. He's like, okay, this is the importance of things. Okay. And he goes down the list and he says, there's whale poop and then there's you. And I don't remember the movie. I just remember that. There's whale poop and then there's you, as far as the order of importance. So I think we made our way through it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Great fishing metaphor, great fish story. I'll have a picture by the next time. I'm going to catch me something so I can show a picture between now and next time.
Keep your cell phone out at all times.
There you go.
Keep it on a tripod.
Nice.
Behind you on the dock.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I would encourage you, if you're not a member of Funnel Scripts, you should be. If you're not a member of the Jim Edwards Method Premium, you should be. You can go to thejimedwardsmethod.com, find out about that. Go to funnelscripts.com to find out about that. Go to trafficsecrets.com to find out about that. Go to filmmywebinarsecrets.com to see a really cool webinar that Dean and I did. And then you can sign up for Film My Webinar Scripts. And Dean, if they want to find out more about you and have you do some work for them, how would they get a hold of you?
You can email me at onebigIdeaMarketing@gmail.com. And that's the numeral one.
That's right.
The letter one.
Not the letter one, like Jim always says. So Dean does great stuff. It's the only copywriter I trust to write stuff for me. And so everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.